Hello everyone and welcome to my 2-Point Hospital Top Tip series. So in this video we're going to be taking a look at the fast track policy to help with diagnosis queues. Now a while ago I did make a video on how to deal with queues, and although that video is outdated now, it is technically still a viable way of dealing with queues. It's just very long-winded, and since making that they added in the fast track policy. Now I've deliberately turned it off, and as you can see we've got queues in our GP's offices, in diagnosis rooms and such, and not really anyone going to our treatment rooms here in sweaty palms. So we're going to have a quick look at this. Now I'll just show you, you can see there's a patient here with 100% diagnosis certainty. There's quite a few here and they're going to the GP's office. Now, by changing the fast track policy, it allows you to send patients for treatment sooner before they reach 100%. And I'll show you how to do that in a moment. And that would then alleviate the queues in your GP's offices, but it would also help with your diagnosis rooms, because I do believe they also can end up going to your diagnosis rooms at a late diagnosis certainty as well. There, look, we've got someone going to our fluid analysis and they're at 91%. Now they could potentially be cured at 91% and be successful, and they wouldn't have had to go there, and that'd be one less person in that queue. And there's another one at 94%, and their health's really low as well, those two. So had they just gone straight, oh actually that's a different one there, that's 96%. Had they have just gone straight for treatment, they might survive, but because they're stuck in a diagnosis queue, they could potentially pass away before they even get to treatment. So we're going to have a look at our overview. So we're going to go down to this finance panel here. We're going to look at overview and up to policy up here. And here it is, diagnosis threshold for treatment. The diagnosis certainty required for a patient to be sent for treatment. Lower diagnosis certainty results in a reduced chance of treatment success. So you do have to be careful not to set this too low. Yes, it'll help your queues, but it's not going to help your cure rate if you're in hospitals such as Grockle Bay, where you end up having to get like a 90% cure rate. So I've got it set to 100% here. I'm going to knock it down to 90%. I find that's quite a reasonable amount. It's not too high that you still got the queues, and it's not too much of a lower percentage, like 10% chance of them basically not having a successful treatment. That's not too bad, and it's quite an effect. I find it quite effective. I've not tried other percentages. Maybe I should, but I haven't. I just kind of stick with that, and it seems to work fairly well for me. So here we have fast track treatment decision. So it allows diagnosis staff to send patients directly for treatment when their diagnosis certainty is at or above the diagnosis threshold, without referral back to a GP for final diagnosis. So they won't go to the GP again. So those patients that actually were waiting for further diagnosis, that were at 94, 96 and 91%, they also wouldn't go back. They wouldn't go to for further diagnosis either. They'd also go straight for treatment. So you want to make sure that is ticked. And we're going to go have a look and see how that has affected our queue. So I've got it paused at the moment, but hopefully we should start seeing these queues go down. And they should hopefully just wander off to speed this up a little bit, because it might take a little bit of time. That's down to 9. We had a few in here. Have they gone? They haven't. Okay, so fair enough. When you change it, you may just need to send some that are already waiting for treatment. So that's probably worth doing, actually. Sorry, not staff, patients, is to go to diagnosis, set it so that you've got the highest diagnosis certainty at the top, so all these have been diagnosed, and then go through each one and just send them for treatment, because apparently it's not going to do it for us, so that's worthwhile knowing. So we'll send all these patients, look, that have built up. They don't want to, so they must, oh, they're in the toilet, of course they are. How rude. We've got a lot here, look, a lot of patients. So there you can see the queues have gone down a little bit. That's now at 6. It's a bit more manageable. We've got 6 in our GP's office. That's not bad, because if we've got 5 or less, it doesn't even tell me there's a queue in there. And obviously it's not an instant fix, as you can see, but in the long run that will help. So now we're actually seeing patients head to our treatment rooms. That's really helpful. So yeah, it's just to your finance tab, overview, policy up here, set it to whatever percentage you desire. Like I said, I'm not an expert. 90% is just, you know, a reasonable amount, I think, chance that they will actually be cured. And then you make sure that you tick fast track treatment decision, and that's basically it. So if you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel, and I really do appreciate it. I've got 2 other series on the go. One is a general playthrough, where you can pick and choose which hospital you want to watch. I give hints and tips as I'm going through and completing each one. And also a remix series where I was taking a look at each of the remix challenges that they've introduced. That's temporarily complete, but hopefully they'll bring out some more soon. But that's it for now. I really hope to see you again soon.